Hi, Vietnam. If you've ever wondered about Vietnam and going to Vietnam for a holiday, here is your chance to take a fully guided tour with me. I'm an expert in knowing about Vietnam. If I can take you on a personal guided tour of Vietnam for 14 days and save you thousands of dollars compared to usual organised tours using my excellent local knowledge, will you come? I'm looking for a few people to join me in March next year for a tour from Hanoi to the Mekong Delta. That's from north to south. Meeting Vietnam's most precious asset, the local people. Staying in good hotels. Travelling by plane, train and bus. This is the ultimate soft adventure tour. My fee is only $300 per person, and you will be guaranteed to save a lot of money over an organised tour as you tag along with me, revisiting some of my favourite places I know and have loved for many years. I'm a mature-aged male Aussie, and I know Vietnam well, and I even speak the lingo, so that you won't fall into the usual tourist traps and pay too much, or get ripped off. I'm looking for a maximum of 10 people to join me. Some have already booked. So it'll be a small group using twin share facilities. You can PM me for details on Facebook. The only fee I take from you is the $300 per person. Apart from that, only airfares and visa fees need to be paid in advance. This means the tour is infinitely flexible, and we can fit in any options you wish. So Ray's Real Vietnam Tour. This is going to be down with the locals. It's the real Vietnam you will be seeing, not the sanitized version you're going to get from a commercial tour company. My name is Ray Connors. I've been living in Vietnam for the past 20 years, almost 20 years. I've just come back to Australia and I'm bored to death. I want to go back to my home, which is Vietnam. What it will cost you to take this tour with me up front is $300. That's it. That's all I want from you. $300. The rest of the tour you will pay for by yourself. But I will find you absolutely good value hotels, not the ones on the tourist trap where you're going to pay incredible amounts of money. No, these will all be hotels which are clean, serviceable, and generally not frequented by tourists because, of course, the tour operators want you to go to the expensive ones where they get the big kickback. No, these hotels, as you will see soon, are very high class. Hotels in Vietnam are very high class compared to Australia. Well, a little bit about me. I spent many years in Vietnam being a teacher of English. I also taught Business English, IELTS, a whole lot of other things, and I was in upper management of some colleges, universities, etc. in Vietnam. And I travelled around a lot during that time in my capacity. What I really loved to do while I was in Vietnam was travel around. I travelled the country north to south, south to north, east to west, west to east, by motorbike and by whatever way I could. I really enjoyed it. I even hiked in the mountains in the northwest, up in the Alps. It was a great adventure, and I've always wanted to go back. I've never wanted to leave, to be quite honest. I've travelled by motorbike, I travelled by plane, by car, by train, I walked, I swam, I went by boat, whatever, to see and meet the people. Our tour will start in the ancient capital of Hanoi. Hanoi has a huge and long history, starting with the Temple of Literature, which we see there, all the way down to Saigon, now called Ho Chi Minh City. You see the French architecture here? Marvellous. And we will also take a side trip down to the Mekong Delta, the breadbasket of Europe. And many places on the way, many beautiful places, places which most tourists never get to see. You will see them. You will experience them. And you will be there with the locals talking to the real people. And here, for example, here we see some kids swimming by a beach, fish in a fishing village. We will go down into the little fishing villages. We will go to the farming communities. We will talk with the local people. These people very rarely get to see a foreigner, so this is out of the way. We'll also see a lot of the normal tourist things on our trip. We won't miss the high points. The overwhelming asset that belongs to Vietnam is the people. They are friendly, they are beautiful, they are hard-working, and mostly they are honest. Notice I said mostly. There are rip-offs on the way, but if you come with somebody who knows what to expect, you will not be ripped off. In one rip-off, you can save my fee very quickly. As an example, the airfare. I bet I can put you onto an airfare that will save you my fee at least, and that's the beginning of your savings. The people are Vietnam's greatest assets, and you will love them, and they will love you too. From musicians to boat operators to street vendors to farmers, you'll meet them all. Even people from minority tribes who live way up in the mountains. In Hanoi, the ancient capital, still the capital, it's just recently celebrated 2,000 years as an inaugurated city. 2,000 years. Hell, Sydney's 200 years old. Okay, in Hanoi, you will take a tour of the Old Quarter, the 17 shops that have been there for 2,000 years, 17 streets where business has been done for ages. You will go to the Temple of Literature, which was built in 1060. That's the time when the Britons were painting their faces blue and hitting each other over the head and saying, "Ugh, ugh." Right, okay. You will visit places of great historical interest. Whilst in Hanoi, fabulous historical interest. The city teems with history. You will meet some of the friendly locals who are really friendly and want nothing more than for you to enjoy your stay in their city, and they want to be your friend. A lot of them don't speak English, but that's where I come in. I speak their language, so you can be sure you will be getting everything at the right price. Or from Hanoi you might want to go down to Halong Bay, World Heritage listed place, where you can overnight on a junk in a beautiful cabin. So romantic, so romantic. So many people come here for their honeymoon. These junks are set up so beautifully, all teak, with fabulous dining, beautiful cuisine, silver service cuisine, and they will also take you on little boat tours into volcano craters, into caves all around the bay. The Halong Bay, is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Or you might prefer to go up into the mountains, into the Alps, bordering on China, very high up. Don't go there in winter. The snow is very heavy. Yes, it snows in Vietnam. It snows very heavily up in the mountains. Up in places like Sapa, you will meet the Hmong people, who are famous for their handicrafts, and they can speak English, German, French, Russian, and Vietnamese, as well as their own language. Sapa is beautiful. Clouds, up in the clouds. It's cool. The weather is cool. You can even have the opportunity, as you see here in a tour that I conducted, you can stay in a village with the local people. They have that facility. Yes, it's not a hotel, but it's an unusual experience. On our tour, you will stay in various types of accommodation, ranging from these cute little beachside huts with en-suites, air conditioning and everything that you would want, all the way through to luxury hotels on the beach with rooftops. And all the hotels have beautifully appointed rooms, air conditioned, with bathrooms, hot water, and usually breakfast is included. The breakfast is not huge, but it's certainly quite adequate. They're generally included in the price. The price of these hotels is unbelievably and surprisingly cheap. That's because they are not on the tourist hit list. All rooms will have a bathroom with hot water. Most of them will have a bath, as well as a shower. Some will have swimming pools, some will not. And all the way down the coast till we get to Saigon, where you can even get away from all the hustle and bustle of the city by going to some beautiful gardens. You will take a visit to the famous Bentan Market. Their motto is, if we don't have it, you don't need it. In Bentan Market you can buy everything from handicrafts to food, all the way down to shoes, handbags. Wow, just everything that you can imagine. Their motto is quite correct. Inside the market you can eat very delicious food. Absolutely the best of what traditional food Vietnam has to offer. Also, you could go and we could stay, if you wished, in the backpacker area, Pham Nu Lao, absolutely jumping with foreigners. In this place, everybody speaks English. Most of the locals speak English, German, French and Russian, as well as Chinese, and Vietnamese, and Japanese, and. This area caters primarily for the foreign market. So, if you want anything from traditional Vietnamese up to Italian, Russian food, German food, it's all here, right in this small area in the middle of Saigon. So, why not make the decision? My first tour is starting we're going in March next year. I have some people already booked in. Our tour groups are going to be small, no more than 10 people, on a twin share basis. Save yourself a lot of money. I guarantee you will save money, you will have a great time, and this tour will be much more flexible than an organized tour. I take you where you want to go. See you in Vietnam soon.